We're the new black. I'm Andre, I'm your brand designer. This is Vince, our color material designer, and Zanetta, our footwear designer. Here we are, Compton, California, the year 1984. Where else would you be headed other than the legendary Compton Skateland? Not only was this a spot to be, obviously to learn the new moves, cut a rug with your boys, but it also became synonymous with the growth of hip-hop culture, not only in Compton, but across all the whole country, something that we know you hold very near and dear to your heart. Next. So drawing inspiration from the bold, the vivid lights of the venue, we saw the fluid, free motions of its attendants, and we also obviously put hip-hop culture in a little bit, and a couple intimate things that only you and the other people that were at Skateland would realize. We kind of wanted to reinvent this classic shoe to a modern classic that you could truly wear this day, from the suburbs to the streets, everywhere in between. Next, let us present to you the Glide.
All right. Thanks, Andre. Next. All right, so let's make this story alive, right? So where we started was with the colors, the materials, and the innovation is where this is going to come alive. We went through the inspiration from Skateland and from the skate rink in general. You see the colored glass windows and the strobe lights, and this is where we drew our inspiration from. Next. This is the color exploration that we did, and I'm going to show you what we ended up coming up with. Next. So this is the shoe that we came up with. As you can see, we wanted to take the skate shoe to the next level, take it to the modern day. So we used an engineered melange knit throughout the whole upper. You'll see that it also wraps around the shell toe, and there's some amazing innovation that Zanetta will talk about later. You can see on the lateral side that there's three stripes, and on the middle side there's 3 different colored stripes. That is then reflected onto the other foot, which is reminiscent of the glossy floors from the skater rink. And these stripes are made out of a transparent TPU no-sew. We then wanted to add some luxury to this look. So what we did is we wrapped the outsole with a luxurious tumble leather, which goes all around the outsole and rides up the back heel counter in one seamless piece. And for a bit of a throwback, if you remember the uniforms that they used to wear, they used to have these satin white jackets and these satin blue jackets. So we added satin to this mix on the back counter and also for the lining, and we added a high-density shock-absorbent foam from Maria Preen for some extra comfort. And also, as you can see, we're all about the details. We added 3M in the stitching so that when you were taking your photos, that shit would pop, and you can get your glide on. So I'm going to put you on to Zanetta, and she'll talk about the innovation.
Okay. Next. So, as you can see, a lot of thought went into designing of this shoe. We had to incorporate and symbolize your personality, also make it comfortable as well as breathable, revamp the classic look without the classic look, looking revamped, and as well as make the overall design versatile, where it could come from the streets all the way up to the White House or any black tie event. Next. So, let me tell you about these occasions. There's a lot of kissing going on these occasions, all right? Let me just say it there. They keep it simple and sexy. When it comes to the men's wardrobe, the thing that makes it so kissable is the fact that they're sophisticated, elegant, and very detailed when it comes to the construction. Next. So, Mr. Anderson, when you said that you wanted a shoe for the White House, the shoe that popped up in my head was the hole cut. A lot of people would look at this design as the unicorn of shoes. It's a one-piece construction made out of leather, and it's hard to do unless you know what you're doing. So when I looked at this, and also in my mind as a footwear designer, trying to figure out how can we revamp the classic look, I was like, let's try to make this a one-piece construction where we incorporate the laces to the upper. Next. However, a one-piece construction made out of knit with the laces attached has been done. So how can we revamp this a little bit more while keeping the classic look? So while talking to my materials guy, we thought about making a TPU cage that doesn't only seamless from the side, but wraps over, making the piece one piece versus having 2 laces. Therefore, we get that hole cut look that we wanted for. We're revamping the look, and one more thing, it becomes more of a slip-on than your traditional lace-up. We did some paper and tape mock-ups, and as you can see here, the first one we had the TPU, And without the laces behind it, it looked kind of elementary. It didn't look so sophisticated where you could wear it in a White House. So by adding the laces, as you see in the next page, it adds a little bit more depth. Gives it that sophistication that we're looking for. Next. So we also know that you don't wear socks. So to make it even more breathable, we perforated the toe cap, where there's 6 holes in every row. So no worries. I mean, you could still be sockless, but you'll still be funky fresh. So with all these elements combined, this is the call out of the materials that we use, and color coded in the orange is the technology that we use, where we have the TPU case that wraps over, making it a slip-on versus your traditional lace-up. We have the perforated toe cap, and as well as on the bottom, we have boost incorporated in the sole. And so with all these elements together, we're able to keep the rawness of the streets, but deliver it in a more sophisticated package, you could say. Next, please. So this is the glide and how we will see it being manufactured. Just let it sink in for a little bit. Looks seamless like that whole cut, right? All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Dre.
I appreciate that, Zanetta.
No problem, man.
So I hope you like the shoe, first of all. Now to touch back on a little bit of the hip hop culture that we talked about, I know when you were going to Skateland, you saw the iconic posters, the gradients, talking NWA, EPMD, Queen Latifah, everyone that came through had their own poster. So with that in mind, we decided to incorporate in the sock liner. Those give you that very feel when you step in your shoe. You kind of look at those posters, so kind of like you're going back to the skate rink when you slide in. I think our story's straight. I know Vince talked you through the color materials, and Zanetta offered you some of our innovation and how we're revamping the shoe. So I guess the only other question is, you feel like skating with us today?